And so here we are on Antiga Shipyard, ladies and gentlemen. Down to the bottom left-hand corner of the map, we have our red Zerg player hailing from the team Zenex. It is Life. His opponent in the top right-hand corner of the map, our blue Terran player from the team Quantic Gaming, is Apocalypse. He is down 0-1. He has selected this map to try and tie things up on.
Yes, indeed. So, Zenex Life has got to be feeling pretty confident after that first game. I mean, kind of looked a little bit easy for him. But here's the thing. In a best-of situation, you have to be careful, right? If you win a first game like that, you have to actually be a little bit suspicious maybe and be like, all right, so what does my opponent do after something like that? You know, I'm going to have to scout extra diligently, I think, this game. Make sure I know exactly what's coming. So probably some of the things kind of going through Zenex Life's head right now as he plays this game. And you know, here's the thing. I'm kind of bouncing back and forth myself between the Extractor Trick and the 9 Overlord. The 9 Overlord, of course, does get you the Overlord faster. It feels a little bit smoother, but I don't know. I just like the way doing the... I just like how the Extractor Trick feels, so I don't know.
Gotcha.
I like it. It's just fun. And all the Korean Zergs, nearly all of them do the Extractor Trick.
Guess it's just personal preference, though. I mean, as the...
Mostly, yeah.
Yeah, the mineral advantage is negligible. More depends on execution than the actual method that's used to get that Overlord.
Yep, if you do the Extractor Trick, you can start 3 drones right at once, usually once your Overlord pops. The other way you start 2, but you end up kind of, you know, making a few more minerals like you mentioned overall. So, yeah, it's debatable. So he goes for that 15 hatch. We'll have to see when he decides to put his pool down. Some like to do it on 15, some 16.
Yeah,
kind of varies.
First game, and it looks like he's going to do it again. First game, he did decide to go Extractor first, so he can get up speedlings as quick as possible. And if we remember the first game, he didn't even leave one worker on gas after he finished that 100. He immediately pulled everything off. So Apocalypse, though, looks like he's saving up for a 1-Rex gasless fast expand once again. He does have quite a bit of resources. No gas, of course, and we'll have that up momentarily. And he seems like he prefers the version off of just one supply depot. It does supply block him a little bit, but then he builds up some excess resources, puts down the 2 gas geysers, and moves into heavy tech production after that.
Yeah, it's okay to quote-unquote supply block yourself very early in the game if it's for the reasons of getting certain important buildings out early on. So, you know, we do see plenty of players do that with various builds for various races. So yeah, it's not surprising at all.
Super common to see it as well for Protoss players that are Forge Fast expanding as well. There are several times where they'll cut pro production because they know they can make it up with Chrono Boost later on.
And you can still get 2 Marines out as well, so you still are able to deny scouting, things like that. You've got your orbitals, so yeah, nothing wrong at all with doing something like that. And if you look, his supply depot doesn't even really finish that much later than it would have normally. So getting the command center out that much faster, I think that's generally the better way to do it. That's my preferred way. When I do it, I like to do it before the second supply depot.
Well, let's see here now. As Zenex Life, he is, in contrast to game number 1, he's leaving 1 drone on gas this time around, so he's going to slowly accumulate resources, so it won't be that big of a deal to put up a Baneling Nest or a Roach Warren or something like that. And Apocalypse preoccupied with these Overlords, but now has to run away as there's a couple of Zerglings that are sitting out there. Pretty good control moving back. Just 1 Marine to let the other one take a target fire for a while. Oh, but gets the first one killed. A good diligence by Zenex Life there to make sure he tears after 1 and doesn't let the AI do the work for him.
Yeah. True enough. You know, I mean, the way that he's still saving up gas after this, he's either going for a very quick lair or possibly even some sort of high-economy Baneling bust. That would be interesting. You know, with the ease that he took out Quantic Apocalypse last game, I have to feel like he's kind of tempted a little bit. Just the greediness that Apocalypse played with, I think, may want to have him, may cause him to want to try something like that as well, because he can kind of assume that Apocalypse won't maybe have quite as many units as a lot of Terran players would at that point. So it's a possibility. We'll have to see what he uses the gas for.
All right, so let's see here now as a 3rd command center is already popping out for Apocalypse, and he saved up a significant amount of gas past this, so maybe this will be the, you know, and we saw MMA do this a couple of times, gasless fast expand, reactored Hellions into cloaked Banshees. We'll see if he decides to just go straight down the upgrade and bio route after this, or if he will indeed tech up the starport early.
I think he'll need to go for bio at this point, because he is getting that 3rd command center, so to go for Banshees after that would just be so greedy that you would leave yourself really open to any sort of attacks. So I think it's probably going to be bio, but look at this, another Ling attack by Zenex Life. He really does like these early speedling attacks, and he may be able to do a little bit of damage here. He's certainly going to kill the bunker.
Yes, he is, and the SCV is already starting to run away. Bunker goes down. The Marines are going to fall inside of it very quickly as well, and Apocalypse trying to get onto the high ground there. He does raise the supply depot just in time. He's going to have to lift off this orbital command as well, and does, but this is going to be contained for a little while now. That's not a good situation for Apocalypse at all.
Yep, Life doing a good job of taking advantage of the lack of units that Apocalypse has early in the game here, and he is going for a very quick lair himself, going for that lair right away as he got that 100 gas. So I've got a feeling we're going to see a pretty quick Spire in this game, and he's going to just try to harass his opponent to death. After denying that natural for so long, that's going to be a pretty good decision, I think, for Quantic Apocalypse, or for ZeNex Life against Quantic Apocalypse, rather.
And so there is a third command center just finishing up. The orbital command on it as well. He'll be able to float that over to third if he so desires, but may not feel confident enough with the units he has out. May just use it as a macro CC for a little while now. Yeah,
he'll kind of need to. It looks like, yep, there's a Spire really quickly for ZeNex Life. And Apocalypse moving about the map with some Hellions, but other than that, doesn't really have a whole lot. Ooh, look at this. I love this by ZeNex Life, actually. Taking down those rocks early on, just to kind of make sure that he has a good counterattack path into the third base a little bit later.
Yeah, and let's see as Quantic Apocalypse trying to put up that bunker once again. And Zergling's going to be able to scout in, but will get killed by a bunch of units up at the top of the ramp. Siege mode is on the way. The second tank is coming out. Not a ton of bioforces on the ground. In fact, just two Marines right now. But, of course, he is investing in his infrastructure. They are going to be on 4 barracks very, very soon.
Yeah, he's a little bit scared here. He's kind of scared into playing very standard. And he will have a good amount of Marines once some mutas come out. But, you know, just the lack of income is going to really just hurt him, being only on 2 bases. He's going to try to take that third now, but like we saw earlier, that counterattack path is already going to be open. There go the rocks right about now.
There it is.
Clawing down rocks with their tiny little claws. And you can see Life taking a third behind this as well, so he's in great shape right now.
Yes, he is, and has enough to put up 8 mutas right away, so huge investment there as well. He actually expended some gas on putting up +1 melee attacks as well, which is why he didn't initially get to 9 or 10 immediately, but not a bad decision. He'll have those 8 to pressure, also researching +1 attacks as well. This next base is going to go down pretty quick. The orbital command, unfortunately, can't land on top of the Zergling.
Yeah, well, 5 is kind of the magic number of Mutalisks to kill workers, so that's usually what you have. That's like the minimum you can do if you're going for mutas. You want to have at least enough for that, and then, yeah, usually getting +1 weapons is pretty good, pretty quick after that. And so will Apocalypse expect these Mutalisks this early? Here's the thing, he doesn't even have any turrets quite yet. 2 engineering bases, but no turrets, and here come the mutas.
Nobody ever expects a Spanish Inquisition. There's not much that Apocalypse is going to be able to do about this. He rallies back a few Marines, but now he's giving up quite a bit of production on the high ground here, and may even be able to pick off a couple of tanks.
Nice.
Yes, 1 goes down, and now he's going to move and threaten the third as well. Not a good situation at all for Apocalypse. Oh, except he doesn't have any SCVs there, so there's nothing for the Mutalist to kill, unfortunately.
Yeah, it could do some damage to the command center, but you know, it's better to kind of harass here and there and see what you can do. Some more instantaneous damage. Now he's going to pull that army to the third. Oh, actually just, well, maybe leaving the third be for a little bit.
Yeah.
One thing you can do is pull the units to the third and then quick circle back around to the main, maybe try to snipe another tank or 2. And yeah, he's going to go after those add-ons right away as well. Oh, he knows that there's upgrades going from that one.
Yeah, but can't attack into those Marines head-on, unfortunately. No. The muta numbers are continuing to go up, though. We have 3 more being produced in addition to the 14 already on the field, +1 attacks going to finish up momentarily as well. So they're getting large enough that they're going to be able to pick off reactors with like 3 hits, turrets with 2, and it's going to be a very deadly force that Apocalypse is certainly going to have to react to very, very soon.
Yes, you need to worry about it, that's for sure.
All right, well, making their way up. We'll see if they're able to take down the turret, and indeed they can. A few Marines are making their way out, but he forces a stim out of them. They haven't done all that much damage yet, and in fact, there's only 2 medevacs on the field.
I was just about to say, yeah, not a very high medevac count here as well. Apocalypse is just very, very far behind. He's going to have to try to force ZeNex Life into making some sort of mistake. He does do some damage to the mutas there, but still not killing one. A couple at very low life, but other than that, Life still doing quite well here. How many drones is he up to right now?
He is up to 74.
Curious. Okay, 74 drones, so he'll probably kind of sit about there for a little while until he takes the 4th. Just kind of concentrate on making sure he has enough Lings and Banelings and upgrades to survive any sort of counterattack. Oh, 1 muta does go down there, but so many stims being forced out of Apocalypse. The medevac energy is just being used up so quickly right now.
And I would be remiss if I didn't talk about the creep spread as well. The next Life doing a great job of that. Look at that, moving everywhere, multiple creep tumors in a lot of those places as well. So his banelings are going to have such a good engagement, or he's going to force a ton of scans out of Apocalypse just to even be able to clear that up a little bit.
Yep, taking that middle base as well. So still kind of creeping his way across the map, continuing to produce mutas, getting melee upgrades. Yeah, I mean, Apocalypse, he's building up an army here, and, you know, he does have some decent marine upgrades on the way. 2-2 is going to be finished soon. He's getting +1 for his vehicles, so he's still in the game. You know, he's still playing well. He's not quite as behind as he could be right now, in fact. So when the final fight happens, you know, he still has a pretty good chance, depending on how everything's controlled.
Yeah, but Life is now maxed, and you know what? He has to watch out, and so he doesn't lose those Mutalisks. But he's got Baneling speed coming up. He's, of course, got that 4th base, as we mentioned. He should be able to move into Infestation Pit and Hive Tech pretty soon as well. And he's morphing in 19 Banelings at the moment, so he's going to have a very deadly force in addition to those 28 mutas with +1. Few of those taking some splash damage from the Thor, though. Yeah,
Thor does get a big hit off on those mutas. A lot of them got dinged there in that one. And, he has to be a little bit careful here about how he engages. Yeah, you need to keep those mutas alive, but it looks like Life doesn't want to wait for his opponent to move out. He just wants to go for it right now. And here he goes. It's a lot of Banelings. How many siege tanks are there? Are there going to be enough? Muta's coming in as well. He's going to magic box that Thor real quick.
Yes, he does take 1 volley from the Thors, but not all that bad. There's still a lot of Banelings left over. Apocalypse trying to pull back, but now the Mutas are in place, and those Marines aren't going anywhere. This 3rd base is in danger of just outright dying.
Yep, and I don't know if Apocalypse really has enough Marines. Looks like he does. Banelings did die. You can't really pressure quite as much with Mutas, but yeah, killing basically the entire army there was the next Life, and he's going to be able to reproduce those units very quickly. Already up to 80 Zerglings again.
Yeah, it looks like he's just going to take this Marine force head on.
Yeah, still have to be careful about that. Oh, man, he's lucky he got out of there before the Thor came in, too.
He's still rallying all of his Zerglings across the map. Looks like he's finally got that in check now as he's going for round 2 of this big attack. Infestation Pit is on the way as well. Oh, I'm so sorry. There was a drop actually down at the bottom right. That's why Apocalypse's forces weren't all there 100%. He did take out that base. It's going to get cleaned up here by the Mutalisk, though. So 1 base is down for Apocalypse, and he's not suffered the loss of 1 himself, but he's still back by 70 supply. Trying to attack now through the middle. Forces the Lings off the line. Force the next Life. We'll see if he's able to take out this Thor at the very least. The rest of his units being rallied in, and the Marine numbers are starting to get very, very small. Now a 70 supply deficit, so despite killing that base, Apocalypse still in a very bad spot.
Oh, the next Life, not the best engagement here for these mutas, but I think it's going to be okay. I mean, a little bit of sloppiness is allowed when you're just that far ahead. All those mutas, though, very, very low here.
Yeah.
Ooh, and he lost a ton of Mutalisks in that engagement. I don't know if that was worth it. He is pretty far ahead. He should still be able to take this game, but getting a little bit sloppy here in the end.
Yeah, it looks like he was able to pull his drones away from that drop very quickly as well. So Apocalypse didn't do that much damage. He did more damage to the production than anything else because the economy is still going pretty strong off of a couple of fresh bases for the next Life.
Oh, yeah, he's still doing fine as far as the economy goes. And it wasn't even, it's just basically 2 medevacs worth of Marines that did that. But, well, here we go. Looks like Life should have enough, maybe. Since 3-3 isn't quite done yet, some Banelings do connect.
Yeah, it looks like the rest of those Marines are going to go down. The rest of the Banelings hitting as well. They don't even have to be terribly cost-effective to still do their job at the moment. Yep. These medevacs are so low, they're falling very quickly, but now there is a Thor on the high ground. Watch out with that.
Oh, that's dangerous.
Got a nice job to get that Thor in the action as quick as possible, but
man. Using the medevac with 10 hit points, I don't know if that's quite advisable there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, let's see now as checking around to see if there's any other drops or anything. No, I don't believe so. Apocalypse can't allocate the units to that right now. We do have a few Infestors popping up in just a second. There are still 12 mutas out there. They're in this little pack going to go after the missile turret. It's being repaired up, and it looks like he is going to delay long enough and pick off a couple of those mutas as well.
Yeah, I don't know if the next Life is maybe harassing quite enough with these Mutalisks. He's been using them to just straight up attack, but does he even have any carapace upgrades for those mutas right now?
I do not believe so.
Yeah,
no.
I mean, if you're going to use your mutas in a fight like that, you generally want to go for carapace. What is that queen doing?
I have no idea.
I'm telling you, man, queens are the most suicidal unit in StarCraft 2.
Yep, sorry about that, queen. Bye-bye.
Yep. Oh, her toupee popped off. There
yes.
you go. And see, look at this. The next Life doesn't really have enough mutas to effectively take on these turrets either. You just can't kill them quite fast enough.
No. And he did lose one more Muta there. He's going to be able to pick away at this reactor with +2 attacks. They're pretty strong, but still need to have a lot higher numbers. Hive Tech is coming up now as well. In fact, it's just about to finish. The Infestor numbers are starting to get a little bit bigger, up to 5 now.
Yep, that's right. And he's going to be able to move into a Greater Spire soon if he chooses to do that.
Yep, and indeed he is. So Greater Spire coming up. Corruptors are already on the way, so we'll see some Broodlords here in just a bit.
So Apocalypse trying to put some pressure on, but a lot of units for his next life. There goes some fungals on some of the bio.
Yeah, quite a bit of damage being done. The Thors are going to fall very quickly. Marines were taking some pretty big hits from the Banelings as well. A couple more Banelings rolling through. Not getting the engagement they want yet. And there we go. Finally connecting. There's enough medevacs overhead to start pushing this back. Drones came off the line. They wanted to get in the action as well, apparently.
I guess so. And look at that. Not quite enough energy yet for some fungals. There's one down from one of the newer infestors. And Apocalypse should get his army cleaned up right here. Looks like Life taking a little bit more of a lead, but still, you know, he's making it a little bit closer than I think it needed to be because of those earlier mid-game attacks.
Yeah, I think so as well. Greater Spire is going to finish up here in just a bit, so we'll be able to start morphing in those Broodlords. He's already got 5 Corruptors on the field and a fair bit of gas saved up, and Apocalypse already lifting this, and this is not going to be pretty for those SCVs. A few units being brought in as well. The Corruptors picking away at the medevacs in addition, and everything here is dying for Apocalypse.
Yeah, enough of the economy has been eliminated now that Apocalypse is just not going to be able to make stuff to combat this. And
GG!